Bluff City Media presents the No Bluffing podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, Christian Ingram and Evan Hayes. Now, let's get to the show.
What up, Grizz Nation? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the No Bluffin podcast. I'm Chris Ingram.
And I'm Evan Hayes.
And man, we're glad to be back. Again, welcome to the No Bluffin podcast. It's your first time. Man, look, we keep it all the way real, all the way raw, and all the way honest. And we glad to be here for another episode. Evan, how you feeling, bro?
I am good. I'm tired. We talked about that. But your boy feeling good, though. How about you, Chris?
Man, you know what? We always gonna be tired for different reasons, but I feel you, bro. I'm right there with you. But we gonna make this do what it do, man. We got a great show lined up for y'all today. As always, excited to talk about some different topics. As y'all can see, we're in a different room again.
We always switching it up. We gonna get consistent one of these days. It's just we always try to work out the kinks and all that. Shout out to people at BCM for helping us out, but. We think is okay. Maybe one more change coming. But we ain't gonna talk about that. Maybe one more change coming. But after that, then we gonna have one uniform look. But it's improvements, though. You gotta admit, it's still some improvements every time, though. Y'all gotta give us that.
Yep. We here, man. We here. Glad to be here. Like I said, got a good one lined up for y'all. But before we even get started, y'all know definitely make sure y'all give us a follow. The main page of No Bluffin Pod, as well as our personal pages. As well, you can go ahead and give us a follow, man. Finally hit 1,000, bro. I've been stuck at like 900 forever.
Speaking on that, why y'all unfollowing me? I had 400 like 3 days ago. Now I got 396. Y'all don't rock with your boy? Like, what I do? Like, what did I do to y'all? Like, I thought I was going towards the positive direction. Now I'm going back in the negative direction. Like,
man, that's them porn bots, bro. Them porn bots be following you, then they flagged.
It's probably that.
Yeah, I would prefer to put my account on private, just so I ain't got to worry about that. But it's like I got a verified account, so if I do that, it don't get as many. It's like I ain't gonna do it. So I did the same thing, bro. I hit it. I was at like 995. I put up a tweet up. I was like, "Hey man, y'all, run me up, give me the 1,000." Man, I got to 999. That joint dropped down like 3-4. I said, "All right, yeah, I'm just gonna walk away. I ain't gonna worry about it."
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, man, appreciate y'all for sure on that. Y'all get my boy Evan, get him to 500, and we're gonna go to 1,000 right after that. Make sure y'all, rock with
we giving y'all this fire content. Some of y'all be engaging me on Twitter, but y'all don't follow the dude. Like,
that's crazy.
That's wild to me. Like, that's not good social media etiquette. Come on, like
just trifling.
Just trifling. Like, rock with your boy. I know I'm a youngin' to the game, still trying to get my feet wet, but your boy giving you fire content every week. I'm saying like a Memphis person, not every week. Every week. Come on, bro. Like,
y'all mama taught y'all better than that.
Exactly. If we have a transactional relationship, I'm giving you this content every week with my boy Chris. Y'all can at least give me a follow. This free content right here. Free content.
You ain't getting charged. Come on, man.
You ain't getting charged. It don't say nothing to hit that little follow button on your phone and keep moving.
And hit that like too.
Hit that like button.
Like, and share, subscribe, all that.
Put some respect on our name because we come with some fire in this offseason.
You hear me? Yes, sir. Evan, it's not on the topic today, but I just got to get your quick thoughts. I don't want to, overload everybody with this beef stuff because it is coming out every single week. But we at least got to give them a quick thought.
I know where you're finna go.
60 seconds or less, bro. With everything that's going on, I know we got the Chris Brown and Quavo done started and then got crazy. Drake done put out an AI record, and people are up in arms about that, even though Kendrick did something similar with his face. I don't get the difference, but go ahead, I get it. Man, State of the Union. Why is everybody so mad, bro? What's going on?
What's that? It's like that Boondocks clip. What did he do to make them that mad? Like, what did he do to? I don't know. It's just something in the water now. For me, I simply tweeted a day ago, I love music. That's simply what I tweeted, because that's my feelings about the whole thing.
Right.
Chris Brown and Quavo, that came out of nowhere. And Chris, if y'all didn't listen to Chris Brown, he said some things that at this point you got to fight. Like
you can't
come back from some things he said, and some things that he said we cannot voice on this platform because we are a PG to PG-13 sometimes platform, and
try to be.
Chris Brown went very rated R on our young man Quavo.
Man.
But everybody mad. It's like everybody want to submit their claim. Everybody just want to put their grievances and feelings out there for the world to see. It's like, hey, I guess. You feel me? Like, I guess the days are going to just text in a car dude, be like, hey, bro, I ain't like how you did this.
Yeah.
We just gonna job everybody in the studio right now, just except Kendrick Lamar, except K Dot. You know, K Dot on an island somewhere being weird and stuff.
I heard he's trying to wait for his album, bro, to come out next month. So we'll see.
I'm not. Don't get me started on that. But yeah, everybody mad. Everybody mad. Everybody drinking the crazy Kool-Aid, and it's entertaining. It's to watch. So
yeah, keep
being mad at each other, I guess, as long as nobody don't take to the streets and nobody gets shot or killed or nothing like that. But other than that, I love it. What about you?
Hey man, y'all wrap this up.
He said wrap it up is crazy.
That's just where I'm at with it. Wrap it up. Kendrick drop out of like you waiting to drop something on your album is lame. Like if you're using Drake for album sales, which it kind of goes back to if you know deeper about the Drake diss and what he was going to, it kind of alludes to that in a sense. If that's what he's doing, it's like, all right, well, if you want me to drop and be extorted and make somebody else money, well, I'm gonna make money off you. So I could get that stance, but let's just wrap it up, bro. Like, go ahead, put your record out so we can judge it. Drake's probably gonna come back with his hard record that he's waiting to drop. Kanye,
where did he come from?
He's gonna insert himself into something.
No one talked about you, Ye. Why are you so mad? Why are you so
bro? Okay, you will understand this probably already, but definitely when you had kids. So y'all, I just got we just had our second child about 2 months ago. Got a 3-year-old, just turned 3 last month. They birthday the same, so she turned 3. We got a new baby same day.
That's dope, by the way. That's dope.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
That's dope.
It's insane. But it's one of them things to where like when we are having we have to give this baby certain attention. Like we have to, we got to feed her, we got to change, we got to do this, got to hold it because she crying, all this.
Mm-hmm.
A 3-year-old don't really understand the fact that I have to share my time. Like, no, I was here first. I'm here. Like, do this. It's the same thing. Like when you're doing that and your baby's like, no, hey, look at me. You're not giving me enough attention. It's Kanye, bro. Like if I'm not in the headlines, y'all are talking about these 2 other dudes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 other dudes. No, I'm gonna just bogart my way into this conversation some kind of way, and that's what he did. So, shout out to Kanye for having the confidence of Kanye. I can't even give you another adjective.
He's being Kanye. He's being Kanye.
That's it.
He's being Kanye. That's the best way I can say it.
That's it, bro. That's it. So, I ain't got nothing else to say on that too much, honestly. Just y'all wrap it up. Let's drop the real records and let's judge it and get it over with.
Yeah, that's real albums. Drop real albums. I feel that.
That's where I'm at. We don't want to stand it too long. Like, yeah, we do care about the rap beef, so we'll give y'all a break of going too deep in it. But it's a lot going on. So hide your kids, hide your wife, because they snatching people out here.
The boogeyman on the way.
But y'all know what's going on, man. We got the No Bluffin news with some good topics as always. We're gonna pop it off with Yuta Watanabe. He announced on Instagram Live over the weekend that he is retiring from the NBA, citing mental health, which honestly, bro, it kind of, I'll give you my quick thought on that. I wonder if this was a conversation that happened before the deal even happened. Because we've been talking about consolidation trades. We've been talking about, we're going to have to open up roster spots for guys and things like that. Now, mind you, this move happened before we even knew who Lamar Stevens was and what he brought to the table. So I'm not saying they made a deal to open up a spot with him. They were honestly probably looking for roster flexibility because I don't understand why you go trade for Yuta that has a player option if you're looking for that. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Again, my brain goes to conspiracy mode sometime. I think that there was probably a conversation that was had that there was a possibility. He had some things going on or he was considering going back home. And shout out to him, bro. I don't know how long I could last being across the water for 5, 6, 7 years without my family. Yeah, you can go in the off season and things like that, but
It ain't the same.
It ain't nothing like coming. I mean, being a couple hours away from your house, like it ain't nothing like coming home to your family, your people, your loved ones. So, shout out to Yuta. Hope everything is well. Hope you get well. No Bluffin is very huge on mental health. We had a whole episode dedicated to that last year. And we send our condolences, support, love to him, and wish him the best. That's really all I got, bro. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I love doing another mental health episodes. I always got my own spiel on that, but that's a whole different thing. But shout out Yuta. I completely understand. Being to Japan from Memphis is two completely different worlds. Or Japan from Memphis and Toronto, and he's been in a lot of different places. And I can understand why he just wants to go back home. I can't flag that at all. If I want to look at the basketball side, I see it as a net positive for Memphis. Taking the whole person side out of it. Right. It frees up roster flexibility, like you said, frees up some cap space, and gives another roster spot. So for Memphis, it's a positive. I wasn't just in love with Yuta just as a player, because I just thought he was a defensive liability. Honestly. So I'm not saying I think he was an NBA player. I'm not saying he was bad enough to not be in NBA at all. He was gonna be a role player on pretty much any team. I just, for the Grizzlies, I didn't like him just for the Grizzlies.
I wish he could have got back to shooting like he was in Brooklyn. Shit, I would have loved him then.
Yeah, he was shooting. He was shooting the Pelican ball in Brooklyn. But I think it's just a good thing for both sides. Memphis gets some roster flexibility, some cap space, and Yuta gets to go home and be with his family. Probably play some more pro basketball in Japan. And probably make more money than he would be making probably in Japan than he would. Maybe depends on the contract. Depends on the team because.
When you get to that point, you don't care about money, bro.
Yeah, he's made his money. So it's a good thing for you. Shout out Yuta. Hope everything's well, man. Simple as that.
Yep. Sending our love, like I said, do your thing, bro. Appreciate your time here, and hey, like I said, we understand.
We understand for sure.
We understand. Moving on to the next topic, man. I got to get your thoughts on this because the Dynasty.
Yeah, I gotta ask you. Is it over? Is it wet? It washed.
What's going on, man?
No, zero, bro. I am as a Grizzly fan and as a Warriors hater, and you can call me a hater. I don't care if I'm in the media. I don't like the Warriors. I never will like the Warriors. I like the Warriors for the 1 year when they beat the Celtics. I was like, okay, Steph finally got his finals MVP. That's the only time I actually rooted for the Warriors. And Boston's a very racist city, but that's a whole different thing. But I'm glad it's over. I think it is over. I feel like they should let Clay walk, trade Draymond. I feel like they're gonna go one more shot with Steph at the helm. I feel like they're gonna let Clay walk, ship Dre out, and give because they still have a lot of pieces on that team that can probably make some noise. They still got Wiggs, they still got Kuminga. I feel like they're gonna go one more shot with Steph at the helm and just let Steph get the guys he want and see what he can do. After that year, blowing it up. I give them one more. I think Steph has won all the championships that he's won. He's going down as a great top 10, top 5, top 15 player, wherever I know he is in my rankings. Yeah. I think he's done winning championships. Same thing LeBron. I feel like those two have met those caps. Same thing with KD. I feel like that era of the 2010, the 2010s, early 2000s, late 2000s era of basketball. They're done. They're still great players. They're still awesome players. They're still top of the league. I just don't see them in the phase of their careers winning any more championships. Steph was the last one. Bron got his in 2020. Steph got his in 2022. And I think they're done, winning championships wise. Yeah. Because people make clips like, oh, you think they're washed. No, I don't think they're washed. I don't think they're winning championships anymore. So I feel like they're gonna go one more hurrah with Clay and Draymond not there, and because it doesn't really feel like the Warriors without them too. Yes, because Steph Curry is there. Steph Curry is the Warriors. So if he's there, it's still gonna be the Warriors. Steve Kerr is still there. So one more shot. They're gonna try to run, see what happens. They're not gonna win a championship, but then don't be surprised if Steph is in another uniform in the next maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, let me tickle your fancy a little bit. Pause. Would you say the same thing if they draft Bronny James and sign LeBron James and add X pieces into their team mixture?
First of all, that's not happening. But just to say that if it did, Bron and Steph together on the same team is probably the most dangerous ideas that would keep me up at night for the rest of my life. As long as the Memphis Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors in the same conference, that is a nightmare that I never want to see, no matter how old those two gentlemen are. Yeah. So no, to answer your question, my tune will be greatly changed if the two of the top 10 greatest players of all time are on the same team together. So yeah, kind of makes sense. But I would, as a LeBron James fan, and I am in the LeBron James GOAT side of things, that is sacrilegious. If LeBron goes to the Warriors, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. I may question a lot of things about myself and how I feel about LeBron James.
Hey, like Kendrick said, these ninjas clicking up. At the end of their career, they always said they want to play with each other. This is the perfect time to make it happen. LeBron ain't got to fly too far. He ain't got to move his family too far.
Bro, no,
his son get to play with him and get some real minutes probably on that team.
No.
They could use that lottery pick to maybe draft a Zach Edey and get a center to just rebound and set screens for them two dudes. They surround them with some role players. I don't know, bro. Chris Paul could decline the option, I think. He could come back as, hey, man.
You done messed me up 2 times today, bro. Nah, fam. That's your second time. I ain't gonna tell y'all the first time why he messed me up. That's a conversation for that's the off the stream conversation. But bro, no, stop, bro. I want to be happy as a Memphis Grizzlies fan. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be angry with LeBron having to play LeBron James and Steph Curry 3 times a year on national television. Because you know they're gonna put that game.
You know
on
that's
television.
Coming. Come on now.
If the LeBron and Golden State on the same team, they're gonna play every time they play Memphis. It's gonna be on national television. Absolutely. I don't want to see Ja Morant try to play both of them. I like we match up with one of them. I love that. Both of them? No, I don't like that. So no.
Hey man, we got the defenders for it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, we do.
Look, if Yuta made a sacrifice to bring back my beloved Lamar Stevens on this team, that you got a guy off the bench that can defend, basically 1 through 5 damn there.
Yeah, 1 through 4 to 5, yeah.
Depending on who it is. You got Marcus Smart, you got Vince Williams, GG. He's gonna have to take on more below, which he's accepted and wants to do.
Which
you got 4 guys. Yeah, you got 4 guys that's gonna be locked in. I mean, hey, bro, send me whoever, because we gonna be on their ass. That's just how I feel. But I ain't want to mess you up. I'm just saying, hey, the NBA is the business, and I don't think with them having a brand new arena, they just gonna let Steph go out like that. So we'll see. We shall see.
Yep.
Comment back down below and let us know. Is it over, man, or is Golden State? They got some kind of way to extend this run? I don't know. We'll see. Everything's on the table, man. So, last one, man. U of M land a massive NIL deal over the weekend, or I guess you could say Friday. It was announced with FedEx. Makes the most sense. I really wish FedEx would go ahead and get the Grizzlies logo put back on the Grizzly jersey, because that was the hardest jersey to me.
I didn't like that personally.
For real?
I didn't like the FedEx logo. I didn't like when the team started putting like the logos of the companies on. The only one that looks good to me is the Magic's Disney, because like it's Orlando Disney.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah,
that's the only one I actually like. I honestly not a fan. I just like the Nike logo. That's just me though. That's just my personal thing. Man, I just like the Nike logo.
When I go through my closet sometime and I be looking at them now, because I think I got like 2 that was from that era, maybe 3. I was like, man, make it just look official. Because I guess when you look at it like that and you look at the ones that don't have, it's like, But say the less, man. They landed a massive deal, which I'm not gonna say they need it, because from what I've been told, like they don't really struggle with NIL like that, but. Not struggling and being able to compete with some of these big major schools is 2 different things.
For sure.
And, we talked about, I want to say it was last week, we talked about the whole Memphis should be logistically in the SEC.
Yeah.
When you got money like this coming in to support the organization, the school and things like that, that's how you do that. That's how you do. When you can pay guys, unfortunately, that's where we at with college athletics. When you can pay guys more than a super major school can, it helps. So for me personally, I'm looking at some of the other big corporations in the city. Maybe I don't know if Nike can or will, because they technically are worldwide, even though they got a hub in Memphis. Amazon, that's a different thing too. But AutoZone has a very big, AutoZone's a big thing in Memphis. So I'm looking at them. and just some of these other big major corporations that's in the city. I had some people, or I saw some people talking about why is Fred Smith, they up in arms mad because he's giving money to the school to bring in more athletes. They like, well, our city got so many problems. First of all, let me just say this, and Evan, I'm gonna get your opinion on it as well. First of all, Fred Smith has provided for families, has changed families' lives for years with FedEx. He's allowed people to come in at 18 years old and make very livable wages. People have retired and
benefits, all that. Yeah,
man, FedEx has been a top-rated company nationwide. My dad worked for them for a long time. I got an uncle that's I think still with them. They do a lot for the city indirectly because of the opportunity they provide. And the thing with this is that we don't sometimes understand is that when you're talking about bringing in athletes, top-tier athletes that can actually make a change as far as what's the word I'm looking for? That they can actually bring eyes, bring money, advertising, revenue to the city. That's what Memphis needs. Paul Young already talking about raising taxes. That's a good thing, people. We got to get these potholes. We got to get this other stuff fixed in the city. We got to make it look beautiful. We got to bring opportunities. But you're doing something like this with NIL, it's going to inadvertently bring more positive effects to the city, which is what we want. So, we got to look at it as a positive, bro. So what's your thoughts? And we'll get out of here.
No, you pretty much summed it all up. I see this as nothing but a positive, not just for the Memphis basketball program or football program, just to see the Memphis in general. Because I still will always believe, I feel like the city will always be divided if it's a Grizzlies town or it's a Tiger town. I feel like it'll always be, in my opinion, it'll always be a Tigers town unless the Grizzlies win a championship. But still, all that does, all that does is just bring more eyes and bring more money to the city. It's just a whole different thing. But when it was a whole thing about I know I just graduated from high school, so I'm still in this realm. But they were trying to renovate hotels and make more convention centers so they can hold AAU events. That's why they just built the convention center near the Liberty Bowl to have more events, have more. Bryce James was in Memphis last summer. Kyan Anthony was in Memphis last summer. Memphis is a sports town. Forget basketball, forget football. It's a sports town.
Yep.
So
sports brings money, bro.
Sports brings money, and we have a pride. Sports and music. Those are the two things that Memphis is synonymous with. And if you can build one of those things, why not? So I see that as nothing but a positive.
Yep, 100%, man. The more money you bring in, you got to think about it. We talk about we want an all-star game to be in Memphis, and they say that, look, we don't have the infrastructure right now.
No hotels. We can't do it yet.
Well, when you start bringing in more money, guess what you can do, people? You can bring in more infrastructure.
Bring more infrastructure.
And that brings in more money when you do that. So, we can't always, this whataboutism. It was the same thing with the Caitlin Clark thing, which we'll talk about that another day. Business is business, bro, and again, it's a step in the right direction that we need as a city. Over the weekend, we had some crazy stuff happening, bro. The city needs care. We need money. We need resources, bro. We can't be complaining about how stuff gets done. We need to be just grateful that stuff is happening and be a part of the change that we want to see. That's really just what it comes down to. Us complaining and talking bad about each other or what's going on Twitter and all this other stuff. Tell me what solution you done seen come from that.
And it's two things I want to harp on just before we get out of here. It's two things. I want to, since I am not living in Memphis currently, I hear a lot of the outside noise of people's judgment on Memphis a lot. Trust me, I live in East Tennessee. I go to school in East Tennessee. So you can imagine what the stigma is just for the city of Memphis and what I hear. I don't like hearing that. No one else likes hearing that. These are the type of things we can do to improve the infrastructure, to improve the quality, to make the city, like you said, look pretty. That can help us. So we don't hear, everybody knows Memphis, dirty streets, people are crazy, shooting each other, killing each other. We don't got no money. We don't want to hear all that all the time because that's not all that Memphis is. Right. Things like that help improve the city. Number two, think about it. Every time Memphis is, especially when Memphis football is good and they host a bowl game, think about how logistically bad that is in Midtown area. It's terrible. It shuts down Midtown. I went to school in Midtown.
Right.
They used Middle College High School. They used our parking lot during bowl season because there wasn't enough parking.
Right.
Student, I could not park in my student parking lot. I know because I'm personal. I couldn't park in my student parking lot because it was cars they were using my school's parking lot
right
to go there. The Croc Center, as you saw, Midtown basically gets shut down every time Memphis hosts a bowl game.
Yeah.
Logistically, that is not a good plan of action for the city.
Yeah.
People still gotta go to work. People still gotta go to school. Stuff still gotta happen. But the fact that a part of the middle of your city gets shut down every time there's a bowl game, it's not good, bro. It's not.
It's not.
And these are the things that we can do to help that seem that problem. So I just want people to think about those two things.
Yep. We ain't got to complain about everything, man.
Yeah, bro.
We just don't. We don't. This is a good thing.
Take the good things when they come.
Yep, absolutely. Well, look, man, that was a No Bluffin news. If you're expecting No Bluffin player of the week, guess what? We ain't got no basketball, so
we ain't playing, folks.
We ain't got one for you.
You can't do that.
Even though we did have a game, before we got out of here, we recorded early before the last game, but yeah, this season over, man. I'm ready to move on. Let's talk about what we are looking forward to in the offseason, the next season. And we're going to do that when we get back from this first breaks for sure, man. So y'all stay locked in, stay tuned, and we'll be back on the other side of this first break.
This past week, it not only kept that 1% hope alive, I think that percentage has grown because you see them beat Florida Atlantic, you realize they can beat just about anybody in conference if they can beat that team.
Yeah, and we've known this. They haven't shown that in quite a while, but we've known the whole year that Memphis is really at their best, at their peak max powers. They're capable of beating pretty much any team in college basketball. I believe that. I mean, they have very quality wins. They've went in tough environments and won games against quality opponents. Like, Memphis can beat a lot of top 25 teams in the country probably. They're just that good on paper. But for whatever reason, they only show up at certain times.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
The next 2 years, if they can find a roster that works with those guys making the money they make, they'll have 2 legitimate shots at titles, I think, for 2 years. And now after that, you figure out what you're going to figure out. Jaren's going to come up again, and his money's going to be more. Maybe that's the point where you've got to break it up. This trade deadline and this offseason, acquiring some pieces that make sense for you, not development guys, not drafting guys, acquiring pieces and guys on favorable contracts that fit into your system, that finish those last little bits around the edges that you need. And that's, I think, why the next 2 years are so important. I think that's why the trade deadline is so important, as well as the offseason, because they've got to find pieces that work. They cannot develop guys. They're done with that. They can't be doing that anymore.
Time is done.
Tune in to The Daily Grind with Mark King and Lute Hatmaker at 1 p.m. every Monday through Friday live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
What's good people? We back. Again, before you do anything, go ahead and give us a follow, man. We appreciate y'all love with that for sure. And make sure you get the main page as well. Evan, before we or after our show, but probably while our show was airing last week, we had the Exit interviews that popped off. Yeah, and it was a lot of different things, and we've seen different other shows, break down each player and things like that. So we don't want to do that, obviously, because we don't want to, I don't say bore our listeners. Our listeners love us. I would think they hear the listen to it. But we want to just kind of put a different spin on it a little bit because they probably already heard different things, and so we also want to kind of give our opinions and take away. So, man, we want to run down just maybe 3 key or major takeaways from the Exit interviews that you got, that I got, and what we kind of expect coming out of that, man. So I kind of just let you take the lead on this one because I'm interested to hear, what your thoughts on that is.
Yeah. So I had 3. It's really the 3 people that I want to talk about. It's Climbing, 12, and Gigi. So with Climbing, I liked what I heard for the most part. They say he wants to be aggressive. They want to big. They've made that abundantly clear, which I do love altogether. It's two things I didn't like. He's still kind of holding on to Jaren at the 5 idea. He's still holding on to that. So that makes me think, like, yes, getting the big is a priority, but it's not like an urgent thing to him. I feel like he's like, if we don't get a big, we can throw Jaren at the 5. Yeah. I don't think he needs to have that mentality. Of course, I'm not Zach Kleiman. We don't talk to Zach Kleiman. We don't know personally, just from what he's gave off in that exit interview. And people can tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah. It seems like he's okay. Worst case scenario, we can throw Jaren at the 5. That's worst case scenario. And I don't think that should even be an option, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, like and I like that he's still, I honestly like, at first I was like on a complete trade to pick now. But now I like that he's open with maybe drafting the big and maybe seeing what happens. I'm liking that he's keeping his options on the table. And I like that he's being aggressive. So I think he's gonna. I believe in Kleiman. I think he's gonna make the best decision for the team. I hope he kind of just gets completely rid of the whole Jaren at the 5 situation. But also I still think he's still a little. I'm not saying he shouldn't be behind Taylor Jenkins, but I feel like it's no thing in his mind about maybe changing personnel with coaching. I know we talked about that. Yeah. I know he mentioned a little bit during the interview, because one of the interviews asked about how did he think Taylor Jenkins did with just with the situation of the season. He thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
And do I personally agree? Not really.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I don't want him to just go out and say, yeah, Taylor did a bad job. We're looking for a new coach. Yeah. I would just maybe want to hear just a little more accountability of what Taylor didn't do this season.
Yeah. And here's my thing with that, because I hear that a lot, and recency bias a lot of times will like make people forget.
Yeah.
What happened after John's injury? Okay, hands off.
Yeah.
John went down, Bang went down, Smart went down, BC wasn't back yet. We didn't have
that first 25. That's where.
No, I'm gonna say, look, first 25 plus Jaws 9.
Okay, so 34 game for
That's what I judge.
Yes, exactly. We and you on the same boat. We did not look like a good basketball team in those first 25 games. We did not look like a good coached basketball team in those first 25 games. And I get every team has growing pains into the season, but the talent we had on the floor should not have resulted in the record that we had before Ja got back. And I just fully believe that. So I would just like hearing Zach just kind of say, yes, Taylor, he had a rough card. He got dealt, but still some things we need to work on. I would like to hear that, you know. But yeah, you can call that nitpicking, so I'm not gonna argue on that one. Ja, I don't know if it's just me, and the few times I've interacted with Ja, I'm not saying me and him are best friends. The few times I've interacted with his sister, I'm not saying me and her are best friends. It's just I've got a decent vibe, just like how he is, just as a person. And when I saw him in that interview, he just looked like he was just so locked in, just ready to get to work. You know, they saying he's ahead of schedule, like really on time. They say he should be free May, June, which is great to hear. Like the fact he was out of that sling fairly early gave me a lot of optimism.
Yeah, y'all stop giving our performance team shit. Basically, because everybody, every time we come out, they say somebody's ahead of schedule. Like, okay, that's a good thing. They can't. Bro, our performance team cannot help that Ja tore a shoulder.
His rotator, all that,
Mark shot the ball and his finger just like, what do y'all be talking? Come on, bro.
No, I feel that. Something we had a lot of freak accidents last year, so I get that. But yeah, like it was very optimistic to me that he got out of that sling maybe 2-3 weeks after surgery, which I think is a very good sign. The fact that he's had schedule, but just in his eyes, he was like, I'm gonna be here in Memphis. Unless he's going with his AAU team, he's gonna be here in Memphis. I feel like he's just matured a lot more. That's the vibe that I got in his exit interviews. Him and D Rose have their locker next to each other. He talked extensively about how much D Rose is meant to him. That's why I think it's a good people like D Rose taking a roster spot next year. No, we need to keep D Rose in this team. So like he's been a net positive. Even when he was on the floor, he played well. But even without he built on the floor, having a 2011 MVP that has been through the ups and downs of injuries, getting traded, playoff success, playoff disappointment, you can't trade that for the world. And when your best player is the same model as him,
literally, you
need that in the locker room. You absolutely need that. So just I just seem like Ja just came from he's growing up. That's the best way I can say it. He's growing up. We're seeing a young man, and I'm talking like I'm like older than him, but we're seeing this dude grow up. He seems a lot more mature. The fact that I think it's good that he's gonna be in Memphis most of the summer, like because if he's rich enough, he could do his rehab somewhere else. He can. He can go to anywhere in the country, do his anywhere in the
Steven
world.
Adams.
See, now he went across the water to do his rehab.
No, they said he was up in DC.
Yeah, he was in DC. Yeah, like
and his team is in Memphis. But anyway, keep my bad.
Yeah, like I like everything I hear from John. He just seemed like, hey, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna stay tapped in with my people, and I'm gonna get this rehab and attack this rehab. And the fact that he's gonna be clear about training camp is probably the best thing you could probably hear.
Yeah,
he's got a full offseason knowing that he's gonna play game 1, day 1 in October. The season starts in October, right? So in October. I loved everything. Ja was only up there for 8 minutes and 30 seconds, but I loved every second because he just looked like when I come back, I'm coming for heads. And that's just I don't know, it's like he had a calm, locked in demeanor to him. He wasn't with all the boasting and saying this, that. He said, hey, next year, God willing, we're winning a championship next year. Or like we can win a championship next year, God willing, with health. Yeah. And the fact that your best player is saying that already in the season just ended says a lot. And he's so calm he is about it. Even the game against the Lakers, he was like, hey, wait till I suit up. He tell you at the run, wait till I suit up. Be lucky I ain't suited up right now. It's just, even though we've talked about it, we know Desmond Bain is the leader of that team, and I'm not disputing that at all. It's something when your best player has that mentality.
Ja the engine. Period.
He's the engine. He's head of the snake.
Yeah.
When your head of the snake has that mentality that, hey, ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm gonna be a dog next year.
Yeah.
It's gonna feed down. And I ain't gonna speak too long, but we love Gigi Jackson over here. The fat dude had a basketball with him at the exit interviews. Tell me everything I need to know. Like, Buddy's a hooper.
Yeah.
He's humble. He's a man of faith, and we are both men of faith. So of course, when I see other dudes, and me and Gigi are the same age. I may be a little older than Gigi. So just seeing another dude around my age just having that mentality, just loved everything I heard. He said he wants to be a better defender. That's one thing that you don't see that with a lot of young guys.
Right.
Wanting to be an extra. He said he wants to be an elite two-way player. Something that you don't hear a lot of guys his age, especially the success that he's had. Whereas post All-Star break, he averaged 17.8 points a game post All-Star break.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy for an 18, 19-year-old kid.
That's a fact. Should be on the all-rookie team. He should
be, but he's not because he didn't play the whole year.
Yeah.
So the fact that he had that mentality, like, I want to be a better defender. I know I'm going to get less shots, but I want to be more effective with these guys. And he just said he wants to compete with them. He said he's salivating the fact that he's going to play Summer League. He's eager to get the open runs in with the guys. He just wants to compete. Right. He just wants to get better. And if you're hearing that from your 19-year-old dude who could potentially be your second, third option in the years to come,
that's all you want.
That's all you want. And the fact that he's won a relationship with these older guys, like he mentioned Chris Middleton reached out to him and how he said, "Oh, I'm gonna know you now, Chris Middleton." Like, he just seems like a little puppy dog that wants to learn everything, bro. Like, we love Gigi over here.
Yep.
So those were my three takes. Those three people, what they said, really set home to me. Also, another thing on the Gigi topic, Jaren said it wasn't on his interview. He said on the Grind City Media's. He said he feel like Gigi's gonna be a star. He feel like Gigi's a lot better than he was at his age. That little snippet told me a lot of how that team feels about Gigi. And if your second best player or third best, whoever you want to say, Dez or Trip, whoever, is saying that about a 19-year-old kid already that only played a handful of games, it's something there. But that's my takeaways.
I'm gonna start mine. It was actually third on my list, but I'm gonna start with mine because I'm basically gonna piggyback on what you said. And it's Gigi, bro. Like, and I'm gonna start with. I'm glad you brought that up too. I'm basically riding the wave, bro. Like, Jaren going out and saying what he said. See, we've had our discussions about them riding and loving what Taylor Jenkins does and says all the time, at least publicly. You haven't really seen them, not publicly. You haven't seen them have any issues or things like that, which I'm not saying I want to see. So let me just clear that up. It's good that they have, a great relationship, but sometimes you do got to rock the boat a little bit sometimes to get to where you got to go. And so I for them as players to stamp Gigi the way that they stamp Gigi. Jaren coming out and saying he will be his vision of him will being the best at his position.
That's crazy, bro.
Like, do you understand what you're hinting at when you say that? Like, think about the guys that have been the best at their position over the years. You talking about
Bron, KD.
Come on.
Like Kawhi was at one point up there. Some people argued Paul George was up there at one point, just in the wing position. Melo, that's still years on, but Melo, like, if you saying that,
take it out of small forward. Let's just talk about even the best at different positions.
Steph, Luka, we can keep going. We go not Cat. I wouldn't say Cat, but no one say Cat. But just Tim Duncan, like
Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki,
Kobe Bryant,
Michael Jordan. Like, when you start talking about
Hakeem Olajuwon, like come on, bro. Shaquille O'Neal, like best players. These are the best players. Like the guys that we just mentioned, put a stamp and put a lock on their position for years on end. Mm-hmm. If you're saying that 19-year-old Gigi Jackson from South Carolina can be that, and we are to have arguably one of, if not a top best player in his position already, point guard, and John Moran. A top 5, I argue, shooting guard when healthy. Mm-hmm. I'm not even capping or hyperbole when I say I'm not exaggerating. I feel like this man's a top 5 shooting guard. Yep. Jaren, who's a top 5, top 3 power forward in the league, in my opinion, when healthy.
When he's locked in.
And you add Gigi Jackson?
The best in his position.
The best in his position. This team is gonna see heights that this franchise has never seen before. And the fact that this, like, as athletes, we both are athletes. When our coaches believe in you in one thing, but when your peers believe in you, that's a whole different level of confidence they receive in you. And I just hope Gigi, of course, hopefully one day we able to talk to him and maybe get a rapport with him. Hopefully, wishful thinking. But hopefully that's not too much for him. I pray that he doesn't feel the pressure that's gonna come. Like, last year he was a surprise. It was a good story. But now, like he said himself in the interview, the real work starts. Yep. So I hope that this pressure is not gonna be too much for him. That he's able to take this, compartmentalize it, and just be the guy that we all think he can be.
Bro, he talked about his shoulders. Like, he talked about his whole life. He's had a little body. His shoulders have always been like this to where they he said that people always used to check him and say, like, it looked like he always shrugging. Yeah, but he got big shoulders, like, figuratively and literally. The dude has been a top player in his class damn near his whole life. Dudes like that with the determination and the attitude that Gigi has, you already shown that he can go through a fire and not get off track. Like, he went through the G League like they told him to do, did what he had to do there, and then got called up and did what he had to do with the pro team. And that's another reason why I think he needs to be, even if it's second team all rookie, he needs to be on that team, because they left him off of the G League all team.
Which was crazy in my opinion.
So if you're not going to put him on there, that makes me believe that, okay, we can't give him both. Maybe we'll just push him, maybe even if it's just for the last spot. Great. I think he needs to be on that roster. But yeah, bro, like that, to me, and I've talked about this before in a space. I haven't really talked about it too much on here. But that goes to show that, like, or at least it backs up my theory in my eyes. When the team and the players believe a certain thing, damn what the coach believes. If they are gassing Gigi, which if he's saying that out in public, I know it's some other conversation being had privately.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If they feel like Gigi is going to be this thing, that's why I laugh at, or I just I don't understand the conversation where we're talking about making Gigi a bench scorer. You don't put guys that historically were that at their position or projecting to be that at their position. They're not bench scorers. The only
guy that you could say was James Harden. James Harden started as a bench scorer, and he ultimately
turned start as a bench scorer. I can't remember. Did he start or did they move him to a bench scorer?
He was 6th man of the year in OKC.
But I'm saying when he first came in, he didn't go to the bench. I feel like they moved him to the bench after he was there for a minute.
Maybe I have to go back. I'm trying to think who would start. Maybe Thabo Cephalosha started in front of him. Maybe, or maybe eventually. I have to look back at those teams and see when, like, he eventually got to the bench, because I know it was a big thing in the playoffs. He was like, "Oh, they should start him." But we can talk about history. But
look what happened with that. They never won. You moved on from him and you never won. And then KD even joins his team.
And then he turned into James Harden. You see what happened if you could have had all three of them on the same time. Let's not make the same mistake, Zach. Let's not make the same mistake, Taylor.
This shit is not rocket science, bro. I just don't understand it. Like, I get he young, but if that's your only excuse is that he's young, that means we got him for a long time. Like,
that means his ceiling is through the freaking roof, bro.
Yeah, we try to be right about stuff, and it's just like this is just not a hard conversation to have.
It's not.
I'll get off GG. Shout out to him. That definitely was good to hear him say that he wants to be the best at what he does. He knows what he wants to work on. Like, he was able to give an eloquent explanation of this is what I'm gonna work on. This is what I want to add to my game. A lot of times these dudes get up there and they say, well, I'm working on everything, or, coach gave me a list and I'm gonna move on and I'm gonna do this. No. This is what I'm working on to be the best player I can be. I love to hear that from GG. Shout out to him, bro. Like, that's it. My second one would be kind of echoing what you said. It's really, I'm gonna put them in two together. Ja and Jaren basically saying, look, bro, we are tired of losing.
They did say that, yep.
We're ready to compete. This is where we're at. And if this is, again, I take it, if nobody on this train is on this same type of frame and type of time that we own, we gotta let you go. Now, I'm talking players, everybody. Like, this, we gotta go. We know we got the talent. We have to now put this all together. And I love to hear that just from them. I know sometimes you can say things when the season's over, you a little bit sour about how things went, but like you said, Ja look different to me. He looks like he's locked in. Jaren has seen what he can do in a main player role. Now they just got to figure out how to put that all together to maximize all them guys. But yeah, I love just hearing that from them. And then the last one, I'm with you on the climbing thing as well, bro. Like, just him saying that they're committed to getting a big, great. And I'm with you as well when it's like you leaving the door open for the Jaren thing. But at the same time, like, we know we got a glaring hole. If you're watching the playoffs right now, the game slows down and it's about getting possessions every time. And if you can't get rebounds, I don't give a damn if it's your scheme or not. Because, we always talk about, and Jaren said this, it kind of ticked me off too. And, I'm not hard on Jaren. I'm honest about Jaren, but I'm not hard on Jaren. I say that. But he even said, like Devin brought it up on the when he was on the Chris Vernon show, he was like, yeah, bro, like, people be on your ass about rebounding and stuff like that. And Jaren kind of was just like brushed it off. And I've heard him talk about that's the scheme. I heard other people talk about it's the scheme and things like that. Like, when we get in the playoffs, bro, I don't care who it is. We have to rebound. Whether it's him, whether it's Ja, whether it's Dead, I don't care who it is. But the teams that are winning are getting extra possession for their team. It's just simple basketball. So I'm not going to say who it needs to be and how the number, what it needs to be and stuff like that. But you got to get you a big in here to contribute to us winning a rebounding battle. Because it's not going to be one person not going to get 60 rebounds. I don't care who it is. They're not going to get 60.
Yeah.
So that was a key takeaway for me. Him just kind of doubling down and committing to, in some form of fashion, we're going to do what we need to do as far as securing the bid. And I got an honorable mention that I got to throw in there real quick. And y'all know I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I'm not going to go too.
Put your conspiracy hat on. Put your.
I'm not here yet. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
But usually your top 8, top 9 players, they show up for the exit. The first one that caught my eye, Luke, he wasn't even on the list. I don't think.
He wasn't scheduled to show up.
Probably not going to be back. Chris Harrison put out an article saying that, it's a lot of things that he can point to that would, make one believe that basically Luke Kennard his time here is over. Hey, if he is, great. If he's not, great. I know we got other moves we got to make. Marcus Smart. He was on there. He was scheduled, but they said he was sick. Now, granted, he was with the team the night before. Derrick Rose said he was sick, but he was up there. He made it. I didn't say nothing, but I did bat an eye at that. So, but again, going back to that same Chris Harrison article, he did say that basically the core 3 and Marcus Smart was like what the front office was pushing in the next year. So with those two things, it kind of made me kind of reel it in and gave me a cause for pause. So like I said, I'm not on conspiracy mode yet. But yeah, I think the Luke thing is done. So if he's back, great. But I think just financially with them guys trying to compete next year, if they can get something that fits that core better, I think that's what they need to do. They need to definitely look into that. So that's all I got.
I agree, man.
Let us know, man, in the comments. What was your favorite takeaway? What did you love about? Was it a particular player? Was it something that was said? How you feel about us going into next season, man? We definitely want to hear from y'all for sure. Yeah. So we're gonna run into that's it. I ain't got nothing to say.
Nah, smooth like that.
The time will reveal all. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see what happens.
Yep. So we're gonna run into this last commercial break, and we're gonna end it on what the title of this episode is, man. What the Grizzlies need to do to get into the title conversation, title talk. We're gonna have some title talk real quick before we get up out of here, man. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And we say all this, and now there's already talk. They haven't even done the 12 team. And Kenny, they're already talking about expanding it to 14 in 2026.
I'm down for every bit of it.
I am too. Expand it. Keep going. Kenny, have you seen what the proposal is for the expanded to 14? 3 guaranteed SEC, 3 guaranteed Big 10. That's 6. 2 ACC, 2 Big 12. So now you're at 10, and then 1 G5 representative with 3 at large. Top 2.
It's going to be that way anyway.
Is it? I mean,
it's going to be that way anyway. So why not?
Yeah, likely.
I don't mind it if it gets the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, all those power conferences on board. Do it. Why not?
As long as we still get a shot.
Yeah, I think as long as any G5 still has a chance, right?
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Even with all that joking about what I just said, like Memphis is still top talented team in the conference. If they're not 1, they're 2. You know what I mean? Yeah. Would you be shocked to see them? I don't really care if they went out, but I would not be surprised to see this team go in the tournament, 4 games in 4 nights, win the thing.
They have the talent to do so. It's never been done at Memphis. It's hard. That 2005 team with Darius Washington was trying to do it, needed to win the conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament. Darius Washington misses the free throws, but that was 4 in 4 days. You've got this situation now. Yeah, Memphis is talented enough. There's no question about it, but especially when you consider the fact that there's a good chance it feels like Malcolm Danner's not going to play against East Carolina. If you don't have him the rest of the season, it does leave you extremely thin in the front court. And so making this run, running the table the rest of the regular season, winning what we think probably going to be 4 games in 4 days, you're going to probably have to do it with like 6 guys.
Yeah. Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the No Bluffin podcast. Had some good conversations so far, but now we going into title talk. Because ultimately, what's the goal? To have a parade on Beale Street. I know Chris gonna. I know Chris on that living Memphis right now, but he gonna step down for that. Chris gonna take a first trip to Memphis to be on the first float of that mud.
I'll be there before they are.
He'll be there for the team here. He'll be camped out outside.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, tonight we're talking about the title, road to title. And Chris presented this question to me a few days ago, and we want to talk about it. What do y'all think? And we're going to talk about it too. What is the quickest way for the Grizzlies to get to title contention? Is it adding a star, or is it adding more depth to the team? So I know what I'm going to say. But Chris, which side of the fence do you lie on this?
I'm a depth guy, bro.
Okay.
I believe that the higher quality depth, because sometimes we get caught up in the number, like, we the deepest team in the league. Well, we were one of the deepest team in the league for the last 2 years before this past season. And we were first round and the second round exit. Obviously, we know health played a part, got all of that. But at the end of the day, like, when you got, 1 through 15 are on a certain wavelength, like maybe it's not too much drop off, that's great. I want the most firepower. I'll give an example. I watched that New York Knicks versus I think it was the Sixers. They played the 76ers.
Yeah, NBA.
Yeah. Side note, Jaren will be on Team USA. I'll just say that. I'm going to announce that to the world right here on No Bluffin. He will be on Team USA. Kawhi is not playing for the first round. He's probably not going to play in the summer. Embiid, his knee has been tweaked or hurt 3 different times in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, they're going to need a big. Paolo should get the call first. Jaren will probably be right behind him. You heard it here first.
I hope you're right.
And that's if AD makes it, because we know he is a bag of potatoes when it comes to getting hurt, a bag of bones, whatever. But yeah, depth, man. I'm huge on depth, and that's why I had these conversations on Twitter a lot of time. I have these conversations, with people personally outside of Twitter, talking about the team and things like that. And we look at all these other teams that are top heavy. You're looking at Phoenix right now. Look at that matchup. One team is top heavy on paper, and one team has a guy that is 6'10", almost 7 foot, coming off the bench looking like a guard at times. And Naz Reid. They have a defensive player of the year eventually candidate in Jaden McDaniels. They got 2 centers. One is very highly versatile. They got one that's a former defensive player of the year, 7'4", whatever he is, 7'2", whatever. Like they just have a bunch of versatile depth. I ain't even gotten to the other bench guys they have. And then you look at Phoenix that has they top heavy. They got 3 max level guys, and the rest of their team is minimum wage guys on that team.
And Grayson Allen.
He just got a new deal. He was a minimum guy.
He just got
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the shout out to him for making the most of his situation. But like I think he came in at 3 million, 4 million, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like these dudes, bro. I look at Denver, them last year winning the title. They had health, because I always say a championship run, it goes to having health, number 1. 2, you have to have the best top 8 in your roster. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to the New York series, you look at Josh Hart. He didn't come out for 1 minute outside of timeouts. He didn't come out for 1 minute of that game. DiVincenzo was balling.
But hooping.
Jalen Brunson doing his thing. Hardenstein and Mitchell Robinson, they swapped here and there. But like your top 8, maybe top 9, needs to be as best as possible. Because we've seen it. Look at the. I'm gonna leave it at this. You look at the Miami Heat when LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh was there. That team should have went 4 for 4. I'm sorry.
I disagree, but keep going.
Should have. On paper.
3 for 4.
On paper, you had the best player, arguably the third, maybe
top 5
best player.
He was top 5 for sure.
And he had a top 5
15,
big.
Top 15 overall.
And then you're talking about the role players. Like, come on, bro. Like, I get the point guard situation was kind of ass, but at the same time, LeBron was your point guard. I get you had Eric Spoelstra, brand new coach. But I'm sorry, bro. Like, we haven't seen this theory of putting all these stars together. We just haven't seen it work. It's always, look at Detroit Pistons. They were a deep team that went out and won the championship. So if you got Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Gigi Jackson, Vince Williams, Marcus Smart, BC,
Jaren Jackson.
Oh, my bad. I ain't say Jaren Jackson. You got a starting center, whoever that is. You have a backup big or another role player, which I think that's just really all they need to do is convert Luke Kennard into some type of high-level role player and pray for health. That team wins, bro. It better win.
Yeah.
What you got?
I don't necessarily agree. I don't necessarily disagree with nothing you said, but I'm on the star side of it, but with a caveat. So I feel like star gets us there quicker because as previously constructed, let's say no one gets better. Let's say no one takes a leap, no one gets better.
They say the same.
Say everybody say the same. Then I feel like we may need an extra oomph, extra something to put us over the hump. That's why I say star. And specifically if Gigi doesn't take a leap, because I feel like if Gigi takes a leap, we don't need a star. I'm saying that now. If Gigi takes the leap that we need him to be, we do not. He's gonna be our star.
Right.
But if no one gets miraculously better, or specifically Gigi doesn't get better, I say get a star because you can never have really too many good players. And I agree with what you said. Historically, it hasn't been a deal that top heavy works, but it has happened sometimes. When KD was the Golden State, them jokers. It's KD. I understand it's KD. They were just too dang good. I understand.
With the greatest shooting backcourt of all time.
I get it. You're right, but it's still an example.
KD ain't won shit before or after them.
Yes, that's true. But hey, they threw all their chips to the table, and it worked out. Not saying I liked it. I personally hated it. But hey, they put their chips to the table for 1 year. Toronto, they had a deep team. I can't even say that. Toronto had a deep team. Even though they put all chips into the table with Kawhi, they still had a deep team. I just feel like if no one gets better, get a start. And I wrote some guys down, but we're not going to get these guys, but like guys that I feel like if it was on the table, these guys would put us on the hold. Of course, you have to make a deal with contracts and signing and all that. Mm-hmm. But we talked about him before, Bam Adebayo. If we get him on a team, we're winning a championship. Even though that's not happening, we know that.
But I'd be happy. But.
Evan Mobley, that's another guy who I feel like will be a star once he gets healthy and I feel like if we put him on the team, I feel like we're going to win a championship for sure. I just think it makes it easier. I'm not saying we can't win a championship next year with the team constructed. I'm saying it makes it easier. That's the point I'm making. The third guy, and people may look at me kind of crazy, is Paul George. And let me cook on this one. I know we talked about it before, but I want to cook on this one. Paul George has a play. This is the last year of his regular contract. He has a player option next year. Mm-hmm. He's going to make around $48 million a year next year, which is a big contract. We obviously know. But I feel like all basketball fans would say, if the Clippers don't win a chip this year, they're going to blow the team up. They've tried a lot. They've gone through a lot of variation with this Paul George and Kawhi Leonard experiment, and it has not worked.
Yeah,
it has not worked. So let's just say, again, we don't know anything. This is just us. It's speculation. Let's say it's something to Marcus Smart not showing up. Let's say it's something to Luke Kennard not showing up. Let's say you throw Marcus, Luke, Zaire Williams, maybe John Conchar. You telling me y'all don't want Paul George on a 1 year deal? Just if it put all things to the table, let's go win a chip. You telling me that wouldn't work with Ja, Dez, PG, GG, and Trip? And you can figure out the other guys on. You still got Vince Williams. You still got Lamar Stevens. Like you can find you still got D Rose if he wants to play. That's 8 guys right there.
If you see me looking, I'm looking for a pen so you can sign me up. For that. I can't find one, but
yeah, shit. Like you telling me, I get you tell me that 8 right there, and insert big, insert big that can just go on, as my dad say, get 5 fouls, get 6 fouls, and rebound.
Yeah.
You telling me that 8-9 guys still can't win a chip? That's why I say that extra oomph that can put you up. I'm not saying a star that's gonna take the shots, that's gonna be best player. I'm not saying be number one option. Yeah. But it's a star that's been proven, that's had playoff success like a Paul George. And I bet there's other guys out there I just haven't thought off the top of my head that could probably fit that archetype. I'm not saying Paul George is the end all be all. But just with the contract situation, I feel like that could get us to the level that I feel like it makes our road a lot easier to win a chip. We don't have to work as hard. Like, yeah, if we win a chip, who cares how you get it, obviously.
Absolutely.
Who cares? But, maybe Ja don't got a job 40 and Dez and Tripp got a job 30, 40 a game to win a chip. Maybe they can let PG come in and drop 25 and G got 25 and all Ja got to do is drop 15 and 10. Like, just make everybody roll a little easier. Instead of going to 3 7-game series, we can only go to 1 to 2. Like, yeah, that's all I'm saying, man.
Tev Shakir, shout out to Tev, man, on Twitter. Tev Shakir on Twitter. We were talking about what were we talking about? Because I just lost my train of thought. We were talking about what you need as far as to win a championship, like you were saying, right? And the thing with that is PG. Oh, no, that's what it was. He was talking about this season being a fail before it happened, and I give him shit because he been taking this victory lap with the, because he predicted that the Grizzlies wasn't gonna make they weren't gonna make the playoffs. And I keep telling him, I'm like, look, you made this prediction before the Steven Adams. You made it before. Forget the world-class injuries. You made it before the Steven Adams move. Yeah. And that particularly with everything else that started the season, like I can't give you credit for that, but you were right. You were right. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with the reasons why you were right. But one reason that he brought up, he said that we don't have a closer. Desmond Bane can be a closer. Ja Morant can be a closer. But notice I said can be.
Yeah, can be.
Paul George is a closer.
He's
and
a finisher.
If you got an engine of Ja Morant, you got Desmond Bain running around off screens, hitting threes all game. You got Jaren doing what he needs to do in the post. GG, while PG is here, coming off the bench, or you can start him if you want to be hella big on the wing and things like that. That's fine too.
Yeah.
But you got PG in the closing moments, who we know who mid-range is
delivers. Just get it. He can just get a bucket. That's the only time I can be okay in them saying call an ISO. I love Ja. I love Ja. I love Dez. I love Trip. But if PG on the team, okay, I'm okay with Ted Jenkins say, okay, low, everybody clear out. PG get a bucket, go to work. Then I'll be okay with that. And I agree with you. Like, yes, Ja has came through with us in some clutch moments. Like you say, he can be. But PG been doing this stuff for a long time, bro.
And he's never had a deep team like we would be with him outside of his Indy situation. Since he left Indy, OKC wasn't deep like that. Even though they had Melo, they had Russ, but they wasn't deep.
It wasn't deep like that.
Who else did he go after that?
Went to Clippers
right after?
Went to Clippers right after that, yeah.
They have dogs. Don't get me wrong. They've had the Pat Bevs, the Lou Wills. They've had these other guys. They got Terrence
Montrezl
Harrell. They ain't had a depth that we would have, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So I'm with you, bro.
Yeah. And that's just my take on it. I feel like we can go the depth route. And I feel like, okay, let me say this. If we go the depth route, I feel like I see us winning championship in 2 to 3 years. If we go the star route, we're winning championship next year. That's the difference. That obviously it's a guarantee. It's a dang near 100% guarantee. We get a start winning championship next year. If we go depth, I say 2 to 3 years. And that's the small difference. Either way, we're getting a championship regardless. I just think it's quicker and it's easier if we go star route as the team is presently constructed. But that's my spiel.
We kind of meet in the middle on that because I looked at it from having a top 8 depth thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your top 8 with Paul George, that's some crazy depth. So we kind of like we meet in the middle.
Yeah,
it's just that I agree with you. You're not wrong at all. You're actually probably right.
Mm-hmm.
That propels you into if you got health with Ja, Bane, Paul George, Jaren, center, GG,
Vince, Lamar Stevens, and point guard or maybe center.
BC.
Meaning I ain't even say the BC.
Jaren is your rotating center when your starting center is out, probably your closing center.
Come on, bro. You telling me that team not winning the chip next year? Like, forget everybody in the league. Next year, we're winning a championship. We should be favored to win a chip next year with that team. There's no way. Like, next year, I feel like we can win the chip. Like, I feel like we're in contending to win the chip next year. But if what I say happens, we're guaranteed, or we're the favorite, undoubtedly. And that's the difference. I'm not trying to shortchange the roster we have now. I don't want people to think like I'm doing this. I'm trying to explain it the best way I can.
Right.
It just if we get that team with a star, we're favored. So I'm sorry, Denver. I'm sorry, Boston. I'm sorry, all of that. Nah, fam.
That'll be nasty. Good God.
I love Marcus Smart. I had to cook for a little bit, bro.
You cooked. Look, I was on the grill yesterday, but you definitely you fired it up this morning. I ain't gonna hold you. I love Marcus Smart. I want him on this team next year. I want him here.
Me too. We both do.
But boy, if you can turn him and Luke and some other pieces and some picks to help them accelerate start their rebuild, but help them start their rebuild. And like you said, I would even be fine with PG because he don't be on expire next year. I wouldn't mind giving him an extension, like just a 1 year. Mm-hmm. Hey, 1-1, you come in, we win a chip, we may even run it back. At that point, GG is, he should be basically transitioning into that. You may even be able to, like I said earlier, squeeze out a starting and closing lineup of Ja, Dez, GG, or PG.
Mm-hmm.
Swap them at the 3 or 4. It don't matter.
Yeah. And maybe some matches you can play
and Jaren at the 5.
Some matches, you can play them together. Yeah,
that's a depth lineup because like the length that you have, the shooting that you got, the defense. PG is the prototypical 2-way that GG can learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Good God! See, now I'm not okay.
Now I messed him up with this one. Now I messed him up in the good one. I'm saying, bro, like Just think about it. That's all I gotta say. Just think about it. I want Grizzly fans, Grizzly front office. Think about it. I think it's a good thing. I want Smart on this team just as much as anyone. I think Smart is a great player that fits this team great. I just feel like it's another gear we can hit. Comes down to simple as that.
PG gotta want to be here though. That's the only thing.
PJ wants to win a chip. I understand he loved the bright side of LA, but he's been in a small market before. I gotta look now. Is Indiana like? I know Indiana's bigger than Memphis, but like, is it like astronomically bigger?
I don't
like
think so.
It's not a big
really
difference.
Two then if you talk about OKC.
Yeah, like even in OKC, and he went to OKC because he wanted to win the chip. It is not against PG. Be like, hey, he went to PG. He went to OKC because he thought he was going to win a chip there. Mm-hmm. He wanted to stay. That's why he got extended for you. But that's what then he got out of the country anyway. But I feel like PG wants to win. He expressed like, yo, he wants to win.
Yeah.
So for 1 year, just saying, hey, Paul, hey, Mr. Joel, we can host your podcast here, bro. We can do a collaboration with the podcast.
Yeah, Plum City Media will take care of you, brother.
We will take care of you, fam. Like we got a lot of podcast networks, a lot of places you can film your podcast, fam.
Yeah,
it's
and to the people. This is to the people. Mm-hmm. You know what? This is what's gonna come behind this. What you're saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're gonna throw away a top lottery pick for a 1 to 2 year rental of Paul George?
Yes.
If you get a championship,
who cares?
In those 2 years? Who gives a flying rat's ass about that lottery pick? Because we get so hung up on the what ifs.
No, what people can turn into, yeah.
Or if we'll throw it away, what'll happen if we don't hold on to this pick? I heard a thing a long time ago. It said, if you hold on to what you got in your hand, that's great. Hold your fist tight. But guess what that does? It prevents you from opening your hand up and receiving more.
Yeah.
So us holding on to what we got is great, but I want a championship. Evan, I know you want a championship. As a Grizzly fan, you should want a championship. I don't know why you're sitting there hurting your eyes trying to look at a team and you're like, oh, I don't want to win, so let me just play it safe. Like, no. We've had historic, emotional playoff runs as a Grizzly fan. We have. We know that what we have, we can get a chip. And that's why you should do whatever you can do to gas that, whatever it may be. And if it's for a year or two, whatever. Again, you still got Gigi after this season that we just passed for 3 more years.
Mm-hmm.
If you get 2 before he gets on that next deal, what you're going to need to give him, which you can then extend that window, that's when we're talking about a Warriors-esque run.
Yeah.
Bro, what is we? Anyway.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. You said it for me, but yeah, I would include the pick in that pack. I know I didn't say that initially, but yes, I would include the pick in that pack, which would be a top 7 pick. You tell me when LA blows that team, they're not gonna want a top 7 pick? Like, come on, fam. With the guys that we just send them for trade capital and all that, it makes sense on paper. But what do we know? We're just 2 guys sitting in our respective rooms on a podcast, man. Maybe we're crazy ones, but hey, what do we know?
Maybe we are, brother. Maybe we are.
Yeah.
Man. We're gonna get out of here. As y'all know, again, key dates. We want to make sure y'all stay updated on that to make sure y'all are, tapping in what's going on. We got the draft lottery coming up next month, May 12th. Excited to see what pick will get on there. May not even make the pick. We may trade it. I don't know. We'll see. The draft is coming up about a month or so after that, June 26th and 27th. Remember, it's 2 days this year. The dumbest thing, but whatever. Do y'all think, NBA? We will have my cousin, who is a league executive, David Booth. I am looking forward to getting him on the podcast and reaching out to him to get him on. I just want to talk to him about whatever we can. Like, I know it's certain
we can't talk about,
but I will probably ask a couple questions, like stuff about, just the reasons behind certain things. Obviously, I know it's probably about money, but it'll be a dope conversation to get him on to talk about just, from a league executive perspective, how the NBA runs and what they look at and things like that. And then obviously free agency will be right after that, June 30th. So, man, it's going to be a fun summer for the Grizzlies, fun summer for NBA fans as a whole. I'm excited to see what happens, the movement, what we like to call transaction porn. I think it's going to be a lot of that in some form or fashion. Once this playoffs is over, it's going to be.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, people be thinking like, the real NBA is like 2K, man. So they be hung up on that.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, man, that's it. That's all we got. Evan, what you got for us before we get out of here, brother?
Man, nothing. I'm trying to finish finals. It's still look for me for this summer on some Bluff City writing. Since the season's over, I have a little more freedom just to write about things I just generally want to write about. Maybe some players, maybe some trade scenes. I may write a Paul George piece. You never know. I may watch. So yeah, just stay tuned. Stay tuned for us. More of us. I ain't gonna say too much, but some guests that I'm trying to line up that for the show too.
We are working on some heavy hitters.
Yeah, we are working some heavy hitters for sure.
So I'm excited for No Bluffin guests, bro. This is gonna be an amazing summer.
Nah, for sure. But that's all I got, bro. Anything you got? We good.
All I got is this right here, man. If you watch the show, you rock with us. You love what you see. You love what you hear. You love what we got going over here, and you want to become a sponsor because we are looking for sponsors of the show. If you want to become a sponsor, man, go ahead, check out that email down there below. Take a screenshot, send it to your boss, send it to your sister, baby mama, your cousin, whoever. Make sure they give us a real quick email at thenobluffinpod@gmail.com. We'll get it and we will kind of go from there on what needs to be done in regards to that. But yeah, we are looking for sponsors. So anybody that's interested, definitely go ahead and reach out to us and we'll have that conversation. We appreciate y'all support, as we always say, man. But yeah, that's all I got, bro. I don't got nothing else. I'm excited for this week of playoff basketball. That's all I can say.
Yes, sir. Me too. I will be in tune for sure.
Absolutely. But man, that's all we got from myself, from Evan. Yes, Bluff City Media, man. No Bluffin Podcast. We're gonna get up out of here. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay blessed, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the No Bluffing Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.